Both the Black Ops series and the Modern Warfare series are both really good in their own specific ways. I think the Modern Warfare series kind of took a different approach than Black Ops did. Now, in the original Black Ops 1 and World at War, well, Black Ops 1 kind of is the game that condensed it a little bit more to strictly 3-lane maps, but I was saying World at War, they really branched out. And I would say Treyarch is the king of large-scaled maps. Back in the day they kind of lost their touch as they developed different games in the future, but in World at War, Jesus Christ, the map designs in those maps were superb. They were amazing. But after a certain point, I think the Black Ops series kind of got its name, kind of got its recognition as the more fast-paced, arcadey-styled video game in the Call of Duty franchise. Remember, there's more than one development studio making Call of Duty. It's not just one development studio like Treyarch. It's Infinity Ward, Treyarch, and there was Sledgehammer, which kind of gave it a third vibe into the whole, mix of Call of Duty games. But now they're back to two studios, just Infinity Ward and Treyarch. But you could definitely tell from Black Ops 1 all the way up to Black Ops 4, the game just got faster. Black Ops 1, then the Black Ops 2. Black Ops 2 was a lot faster compared to Black Ops 1. Then they went into Black Ops 3, which put jetpacks into the game. And then, when you couldn't think that boots on the ground could get any faster than jetpacks, they shocked us with Black Ops 4, and it got insanely fast. Now, is Black Ops 4 too fast? I would say here and there, yes and no. Sometimes this insanely fast arcade style is amusing, but at its core, it's still Call of Duty. And Treyarch always had a good point of, making the fast-paced 3-laned maps, but still giving it a decent pacing to it. Black Ops 4 is just, you don't have to let go of the sprint key. You do not have to let go. And other Call of Duty games, like any Call of Duty game, Black Ops 3, Black Ops 2, Black Ops 1, any of the Modern Warfare's, Ghost, it doesn't matter what Call of Duty game it is. At certain points, you don't always want to be sprinting, you want to take your time at certain points, maybe walk instead of sprint. That's why, sprinting wasn't always a 24/7 feature. In old school Call of Duty titles, you're not supposed to spend all your time sprinting. You're supposed to spend some of the time walking as well. That's why they don't allow you to run 24/7. That was pretty much, tips and tricks for someone who's struggling in those old school titles. Remember to walk. It helps a lot in, running gunning. You don't want to just camp, but you can walk around and actually explore still without having to sprint 24/7. But in Black Ops 4, different story. Completely different story. This game, you don't have to stop sprinting. But the Modern Warfare series kind of took a more, I don't know how to really say it, but a different approach, definitely a different approach from the Treyarch franchise. I feel like Infinity Ward always tried to make a more military-feeling game, more realistic within their titles compared to Treyarch. Treyarch kind of branches out and messes with their weapons and their environments and stuff like that with more colorful battlefields. Modern Warfare was more gritty, more hardcore, more realistic. It was always the vibes in Modern Warfare. In Modern Warfare, the map designs were always a lot different than Treyarch designed video games. Think about all the maps from Modern Warfare 1, 2, and 3. There's always tons of spots to have to look at, tons of spots that you have to scan, and it might have not been doors or windows, but it was still a lot of areas that you have to pay attention to, compared to a game like you're watching right here, Black Ops 4, where the majority of the time there's only like 1 to 2 spots that you actually have to look at. You don't have to scan like in Modern Warfare, this current title, God forbid. I get so tired playing this game because there's so many things you have to look at. I'm scanning about like 10 different things every second that I'm moving around these maps. There's so many angles, so many locations. That's where the new Modern Warfare went wrong. But in previous titles, there was more variety in the maps, and that's why I always enjoyed Modern Warfare a lot, because the map designs felt more unique, I guess you could say. Because there's always more, I don't want to say heart, but there was a lot more creativity developed into those maps compared to a typical Treyarch game. But like I said, Treyarch and Infinity Ward are two different beasts. Treyarch is made for a more fast-paced, arcadey style gameplay, which for the map designs for that game, it fits. It works. It's playable, and from a run and gun viewpoint, it's fun. And then Infinity Ward, the Modern Warfare series, more realistic, more gritty, more tactical, I guess you should say. Not as tactical as the current Modern Warfare, but it was definitely a tactical style in the past COD games. COD 4, COD Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3. They were definitely not completely, run and gun styled games. You definitely had to take your time, walk around here and there, and, be a bit more patient than you could in Treyarch designed games. But I just wanted to say that real quick before I do begin to talk about Black Ops 4, because I want everybody to know Both these franchises make their own separate titles and their own unique video games. And from a Black Ops 4 viewpoint, from a run and gun style, I guess you should say, it is definitely a pretty decent game. For run and gunners, tell me about it. Like I said, all you have to do is sprint. That's all this game is. So it's definitely a more aggressive styled video game. But my main problem with this title, and a lot of you guys already know it, is just the time to kill. It really does kill the vibe of Black Ops 4 for me. I feel like if they at least dropped it down to 125, it would have been an enjoyable experience and they could have reasoned with the community. Don't forget, people, like I said, Battlefield 5, if you haven't watched my previous video, they went ahead and they changed the time to kill. It could be done. So it could have definitely been done in Black Ops 4, and the community was complaining about that forever when the game first dropped, to the point where we stopped complaining about it. And I'm assuming it's going to be the same thing in Modern Warfare. It's going to get to a point where the people who are playing it so often are just going to accept it and just forget about it and move on. And the people who don't like it, they'll move on to a different game. Same thing with Black Ops 4. The people who could tolerate it were the people who stayed with it. The people who could find their own path, to find their own vibe within the game were the people who stuck with Black Ops 4. But the people who didn't really enjoy the playstyle or the time to kill, all the spongy kills, they just moved on to another game. Why force yourself to play something you don't enjoy? But for me, I was able to grasp onto Black Ops 4. I was able to learn my own style of play with it. Like I said, I'm a run and gunner. I can usually adapt to Call of Duty games regardless of the style. And even though it wasn't, Black Ops 2 or Black Ops 3 style gameplay, and it was a lot more faster and more hectic, I could still tolerate it. But the time to kill was way too long. And I definitely feel if they dropped it to 100 or 125, we would have been happy. We would have probably changed our complete perspective on this title. Now, of course, the loot crates, or loot boxes, I guess I should say, and all the specialists, the microtransaction issues with the DLC weapons being locked behind paywalls, there was tons of other issues with Black Ops 4, which made it an absolutely awful game. Which was personally one of my most hated games, just because they keep sticking guns behind these paywalls. Now, currently, to date, it's pretty reasonable. You play the game, you grind it, you earn crates, there's always daily challenges or other challenges that you can complete, which will gain you more crates, and then you collect 50, use it towards whatever gun you want in the store. You don't have to gamble for a gun, you pick the gun you want. If it was like that from day one, I would have accepted Black Ops 4 tremendously. I would have looked past the specialists, and I would still want the time to kill to change, but I would have looked past the time to kill if the microtransactions were decent in this game like that. But they weren't. And I feel like this game was way too spongy. Don't forget, this is a Call of Duty game. Now, I guess for the style of play, like I said, they were trying for an insanely fast-paced game. And you can't get an insanely fast-paced game with a time to kill that is so fast. Let's be honest here. If you get killed in 1 to 2 bullets, who's going to be running? You're going to position yourself in different areas of the map to kind of get the jump on other enemies. That's just how it goes with a fast time to kill. But since the time to kill was so long in Black Ops 4 and it was 150 health, plus a crash boost, you could get up to like 200 HP. Everybody that was in the lobby was a walking tank. And games like that, like I said, I don't care for spongy games. I just don't. And in Halo, I kind of dealt with it. I felt like it was kind of cool in headshots. Felt really rewarding in Halo. But in Black Ops 4, I didn't feel it. Because I'm a Call of Duty player. And playing Call of Duty games in the past, this just doesn't feel right, having to put that many bullets into an enemy. So why couldn't Treyarch find a middle ground? Why couldn't Treyarch make this game for the community, a game that we wanted to play? You see it with EA Dice in Battlefield 5. They found a middle ground. They didn't put it back to what it was in the first place, and they didn't keep it to where it was extremely spongy where it is now. Why couldn't Black Ops 4 do that? Why couldn't they, not make it extremely spongy, but not put it back to 100 HP where it usually is, right smack dab in the middle? 125 would have been definitely interesting to try out, and I really feel to this day that if they made the health 125, this game would have been superb. It would have been so much fun and a lot more tolerable for me to take it. But the Call of Duty development studios, let's not lie, are insanely cocky. It seems like every other development studio for other games will listen somewhat to the community. If not, they'll at least let us know. But with these Call of Duty titles, they just ignore us all the time. They make their game and they keep it the way it is. They don't care. They will keep the time to kill. That's just how the game is going to be for the year. They'll keep the footsteps. That's just how the game is going to be for the year. And like in Modern Warfare, they'll keep the mini-map. That's just how the game is going to be for the year. They just do not care about what the community thinks for the year-to-year cycle, because they know anyways we're just going to cough up money for the next game.
Warning.
So why bother fixing this one if we're just going to buy the next one anyways? We've already coughed our money up into this current game, so why should they fix it now? They already got their money. It really sucks to see Call of Duty take this path all the time. It's not new. They constantly ignore us, and it's very annoying to see this. But all I gotta say is for Black Ops 5, all I want is the Black Ops 3 gameplay mixed with World at War maps, and I will be in heaven. Black Ops 3 gameplay without the jetpacks, obviously. If it was just boots on the ground style Black Ops 3 gameplay with the World at War, oh my god, I would be in heaven. I would love that game, honestly. And if it was in the Black Ops 1 time period, we're set. We're absolutely set. But we're going to have to see if these devs are capable of it. And remember, Treyarch is coming in late, so they might not have complete control over what's already done. But if Sledgehammer didn't work on multiplayer yet, then we might have a pretty decent game if Treyarch can start from the beginning, from scratch, and make their own game out of it. You never know. You never know what they're capable of. But guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like. If you hate it, you always dislike it. If you're brand new and you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell notification button. Also, if you just want to chat with me or see me rant about Call of Duty, Battlefield, any video game out there, you can follow me over on Twitter at JbowenDaMan. And also, if you just want to catch me live streaming, I do that over on Twitch at JbowenDaMan as well. Thank you guys so much for checking out this video, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.